Hey guys, it's Misty from the Book Rat, and it is time for a potentially really long book haul. Like, really long. Seriously. I had originally intended not to record this video until the beginning of March and just do a February book haul, but if I let it go any longer than this, it's going to be so unwieldy that I won't even be able to manage it. So we're going to go ahead and do a mid-February haul. First up, I have two from the folks at First Second Books, and this will probably not be news to any of you who watched my next 5 books video because I mentioned them both there. It's 2 graphic novels. The first is The Nameless City by Faith Erin Hicks, big fan of hers, and the second is Delilah Dirk and the King's Shilling by Toni Cliff. This is the second in the Delilah Dirk series, and I loved the first book, so I've been waiting for this one. Then we have 2 from the people at Tor Books. The first is what I'm currently reading, Riders by Veronica Rossi. This centers around the idea of the Horsemen of the Apocalypse, specifically the Horseman War. If you want to know more about any of these, by the way, I will have links, as always, to all of the books mentioned below so that you can go and check them out and find out more and see if there's something that you want to pick up. But anyway, back to the haul. The second one from Tor showed up yesterday, and I hadn't actually heard of it, and it's Character Driven by David Lubar, and I don't know when it comes out or what it's about, so let's find out. This one comes out on my birthday, actually. This one comes out on March 1st. And it looks like it's probably a sort of partially comedic contemporary novel about a boy who's about to graduate high school and has no idea what he's doing with his life or what's going to happen afterwards, and starting to feel that impending doom. So that's about all I know. But as I said, links are below. You can find out more there. And if you want an excerpt or first impressions of this, let me know. Then from the people at Scholastic, I got a copy of Titans by Victoria Scott. Now, I hadn't heard of this one until it showed up in my mail either, but it looks like a sort of fantastical contemporary story about Titans, as you might guess, that a lot of people are comparing to The Scorpio Races by Maggie Stiefvater, which I have, but I haven't read. But what really caught my attention is it's set in Detroit, and I don't get a lot of things set in my corner of the world, so even though I don't really have time for this right now, I am going to read enough to give you guys a first impressions video and see if it's something that I want to keep going with, because as you probably know, because I talk about it whenever it comes up, Michiganders, anything set in my neck of the woods, automatically goes on the list. When I'll get around to it, who knows, but it instantly puts it on my radar, which is maybe why they sent it to me, I don't know. But I like Titans, and I like Detroit, so we'll see. This one comes out in February, by the way, so probably right about the time that you're seeing this video, it will be coming out. Unless you're watching this video way late and then it's already out. Go get it. Next, we will tackle the smaller of the 2 boxes. This one is from Penguin Random House, and again, one of the things in here you'll already know about if you watched my next 5 books video, and that is Salt to the Sea, which is part of a promo that they're doing that I said I will be talking about late this month, and giving you my thoughts on the book then, so hopefully that all goes according to plan. But this one comes out this month and is set kind of at the end of World War II, as I think all of Ruda's books are, and though I've never read anything by her, I've heard endless good about her books. The other thing in the box is The Love That Split the World by Emily Henry. This is sort of time slip, magical realist, which are 2 of my buzzwords. If you remember way back when I did that buzzwords and I think it was buzzwords and deal breakers book chat about things that will always go on your to-read list and things that will always get crossed off your to-read list based on certain keywords. Both time slip and magical realist are high on my buzzwords list, so looking forward to this one. It's already out. I believe it came out in January, so you can already get your hands on it, or maybe you already have, but I'll probably be tackling it in March, and am very much looking forward to it. If you guys want to revisit any of those old book chats, like the buzzwords and deal breakers or anything like that, let me know, because I've been thinking about them lately. And lastly, this big old box, from Better World Books. They had a sale. But it's not the kind of craziness that you've probably come to expect from me. There are a few fiction books in here, so I'll get to those first. We have Live Forever by Amy Talkington, which I think I was supposed to have a review copy of, and then something happened and I didn't have a review copy of it, and didn't end up taking part in whatever thing was going on surrounding this book. Maybe I missed a deadline or something, I don't remember. But that put it on my radar, and I've been wanting to read it ever since. I thought it sounded really good. I adore the cover. I find it really odd and iconic, and I like that. So I've been wanting this one, and pretty much immediately after completing the order, thought, did I already buy this? And I'm still not sure, because I haven't had a chance to go through my shelves, so this might be copy number 2. I don't know. Then we have Reality Boy by A.S. King, because as I said, magical realist is always high on the list, and A.S. King is a priority. She is an auto-buy author for me. I think she is absolutely masterful, so it was time I got my hands on this one. And then Game by Barry Liga, or Liga, I'm not sure how you say his name, but this is the follow-up to I Hunt Killers, and I'm well overdue in reading this because I adored I Hunt Killers. I thought it was amazing, and should have made this priority when it came out, and now it's been a couple years, I think, so yeah, it's time. The rest of the books in this box are non-fiction. I went on a little bit of a spree. So as some of you know, I don't have internet currently, and it's making me rediscover things like cookbooks. I'm so used to just Googling whatever recipe I'm looking for, and one day I went to make something and I was like, oh, I can't look up the recipe. And then I was like, what am I talking about? I have an entire bookshelf of cookbooks downstairs, like all of them. I have the complete Martha Stewart, the new classics, and the classics. That's not what it's called, but big 1,000-page cookbooks. I've got them in every worldwide cuisine of food that you can think of. I have all of the Food and Wine and Cooking Light and all of these magazines. Like, there's no reason that I need to go to the internet to look up a recipe. But then I realized where my collection is lacking. I am a baker. Specifically, I love to bake bread, and I don't really have any books specifically about that. And I was in like a hardcore sourdough mood when I placed this order, so this was the result. I got Adventures in Sourdough Cooking and Baking by Charles D. Wilford, entirely about sourdough. This makes me pretty excited. I don't know how you guys feel about things like that, but all of these make me very happy. I got Bread for All Seasons by Beth Hensberger. Look at those. I got Boulangerie, The Craft and Culture of Baking in France by Paul Ramboli. And I got The Dairy Hollow House Soup and Bread Country Inn Cookbook by Crescent Dragon Wagon, which is, I think, the best name ever. And then, since I was already on that sort of reference materials kick, I got a couple of art things. Now, I spent forever looking through their watercolor and drawing books and not finding things that I was really too excited about, but then I found two that looked pretty good, and it said that they were part of kits, but because they were listed as only being in acceptable condition, I figured the kit pieces, like the paints and the pencils, were probably missing, but it was fine because I just wanted the books anyway. But when they got here, they're both full and in excellent condition, so I don't know what that was all about. But the first, they're both from Thunder Bay Press, and I have no idea who the author of the book part is on either of them, because it's not on the box, but the first is watercolor, and it has a book, watercolor paper, watercolor tubes of paint, a palette, brushes, and a drawing pencil. I think that's everything. And the second is Drawing Fantasy Art, which has a book, I think probably has paper, lots of pencils, a blending stump, a tube of watercolor paint, and a brush, a sanding block, sharpener, regular eraser, kneaded eraser, which is awesome because I need a new kneaded eraser. You guys already know I'm a watercolorist, so the watercolor one's probably not surprising. I just like to have something for reference, and I want to grow my reference book library, so probably will be more watercolor books to come. This one I thought would just be good to kind of have something to kind of reference for whimsy. And I thought it was cool that they both had everything in them. So that was all of the craziness in my mailbox. There was one other book, however. My mom was at the library book sale and spotted something that she thought I was a fan of, so she picked me up a copy. couldn't have nailed it any better. It's Where the Wild Things Are by Maurice Sendak. This is my childhood right here. So, as I said, long haul, lots of stuff. Everything is linked in the description below so you can find out more information there. That is it for this haul. Let me know what you think of the books in the comments, and if there are any that you have read or have been wanting to read or want to know more about. If you want excerpts or first impressions of any of them, let me know and I will do my best. But that's all for now. As always, thanks for watching and happy reading!